It's time to plan my bullet journal theme for June, and I'm really excited to show you the theme for this month because it's very special in a lot of different ways. And I actually asked you on my Instagram and TikTok if you wanted to guess it, and some of you did correctly. So, my theme for June is going to be Bob's Burgers. It's kind of a weird theme to do in my bullet journal, I know, but I used to do very doodly themes and very personalized themes. And I was just flipping through my old bullet journals and I saw that in 2019 I did a Stranger Things theme. And since then, I never really did like a series or a movie theme in my bullet journal. So I thought it would be perfect to do Bob's Burgers for June. Not only because it's my comfort show and I know all the lines by heart and I watch it pretty much every single day, but because it's also my birthday month. And so I thought it would be really cool to do a special show for my birthday theme in my bullet journal. And before I show you my pages for June, I just wanted to remember that in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have my free bullet journal workshop that you can sign up at the link below. It's completely free and it's going to be on June 7th, and we're going to talk about all things bullet journal, the basics, how to start. I'm going to go in depth into my bullet journal journey, sharing my tips and tricks and how to use it every day and to make it your own. So make sure you sign up for my workshop at the link below. I'm going to be using a lot of the Artex acrylic pens that I just got. I have been really enjoying them because they are really pigmented and you can really see the streaks of marker when you draw with them on paper, which is going to be crucial for this theme because I'm going to be drawing a lot of things by hand. It's mostly the titles, but it's really important to have good drawings in my bullet journal, so I'm going to use them for this theme. And as you can see, first I'm drawing the title, and I decided to write June in the Bob's Burgers font at the top of the cover page just because it's more unique and I didn't want to do any calligraphy for this theme, so I just thought of using their font to write June at the top. And then below that, I'm going to actually have their building be the center of the cover page. The Bob's Burgers font is really iconic. They have these block letters in red with a shade of black inside this rectangle of yellow, but with the borders red, so it's really, really iconic. And I thought it would be cute to use this font as my title for the entire bullet journal theme. And below that, I'm going to have their building, and at first I was going to hand draw their building and paint it with color pencils, but honestly, as I started to trace it, I realized that it was not going to look good in any way, and it was just really messy because their building has a lot of details. So I just decided to print it out and stick it into my bullet journal for the cover page. And I know it's not the same thing as if I would have drawn it in my bullet journal, but it looks way better this way, so I'm really happy with how my cover page was turning out. Then, because I knew I had to fill in lots of blank spaces in this theme, I decided to print out a bunch of little burgers from the show to use as little like filler stickers. At first I was actually going to print these as like a washi tape strip, but because the paper I printed them in is white and my pages are off-white, I didn't like how they were turning out, and so this way I can space them as I want to, and I added 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom, which adds up to 6, which is June's number. Bob's Burgers has been my comfort show for years, and it's one of those shows that I watch every single episode like once or twice every year. And currently I'm watching everything with my husband because he's never watched it, so it has been super interesting to see that he also loves Bob's Burgers. We really like the family dynamic of the show and every character and their personality, so it's really fun to watch it together. We actually have been cooking the Bob's burgers every now and then, and it has been a really great experience because we both love to cook, and so doing the burgers from a show that we love to watch is magical. On my left page, I'm going to actually do my quote page, but it's going to be a bunch of quotes from the show and one inspirational quote from Teddy, which is today's, tomorrow's, yesterday. It's from an episode where he starts a poster business and he comes up with this inspirational quote in for the poster, and I thought it would be really funny to use it as my quote for the month of June. So the first one is from Linda Belcher, which is Bob's wife. And I'm going to briefly explain each of the characters because I don't know if you watch Bob's Burgers or not, but I highly recommend it, and each character is really different. So Linda is the mom of 3 kids, And she's really crazy in her own way, but it's a really fun mom, and I love her so much. She's really iconic. And my husband mentions that I'm really similar to Linda. The only thing that is different is the drinking, because I don't drink alcohol. And I love Linda because of her craziness. Next is Bob, and the quote that I chose is one from the first episode because his children are really bad at their jobs. They help in the restaurant and they do a terrible job. And he mentions this quote throughout the episodes, and it's just kind of like a funny thing to say within the Bob's Burgers community. And he reminds me of my husband. Next is Tina Belcher, which is the eldest daughter, and I mentioned that she's a smart, strong, central woman because she is, even though she has a crush on every boy she meets and loves butts and zombies and horses. Next is Louise Belcher, which is the youngest daughter, and she is crazy in her own way. She takes it from Linda for sure, but she's also really smart, and she's always looking for ways to trick her siblings and to get her way. And it's one of my favorite characters because she's really, really smart for a 9-year-old. Next up is Jean Belcher, which is the middle child. And one of the things that people mention about Jean is that he's fat and that he's going to turn like Bob in the future. And so him being fat is a recurrent joke in the show, but it's in a healthy way, so it's okay. And last but not least is Gail, which is Linda's sister. She's crazy in her own way, and I love when Gail appears because we know that the episode is going to be chaotic on her side. She's a cat lady, and so her quote had to be about her cats. And I highly recommend the episodes where Gail plays a turn because she's hilarious. And those are all the quotes that I chose for my quote page, and I'm going to move on into my dashboard for the month of June. For my dashboard, it's where I'm going to have my to-dos, goals, and the monthly calendar. And I did the same thing for all the titles as I did on the cover page, but just a smaller version of them. And in this page, I decided to add a bunch of references from the show. Obviously, being the first, there are prints of flying burgers that they have at the restaurant. I never understood why this print is there. I know that it's burgers, but they are flying, so it doesn't really make any sense. But so I decided to add here that print because it's really iconic from the show. And next to that, I actually added a photo that they have in their house in the hall, which is their 3 kids in baby form. And I think it's adorable that they keep these photos around the house, and you sometimes get to see the kids as babies and as teenagers when they do flashback episodes, and I just think that these pictures are super cute. So I added these here to kind of break down the page a little bit before the to-do list and the goals for the month. And before I show you my calendar, I actually added 2 different things here that are really important because they are on the show all the time. One is the Burger of the Day chalkboard. This is where Bob writes his Burger of the Day ideas, and there's always like a pun, that it's a funny pun with a burger twist. And I decided to create my own because it's going to be my 25th birthday in June, and I thought that the Burger of the Day could match my birthday. So I glued here the chalkboard, and then I wrote, Gouda grief, I'm 25 burger. It comes with Gouda cheese, basically, but I didn't have any space to write it down. But I think it was pretty funny to include a Burger of the Day birthday themed. And below that, I actually hang the photo frame that they have on their bedroom from when they got married, because Linda and Bob, they were really poor, and they still are poor, but they could not afford like a normal wedding, so they just got married at City Hall. Bob didn't even give a wedding ring to Linda, but because they love each other, they still got married legally. And I find it super cute, to be part of that love story. And I also added the photo here in this theme because it's also going to be my wedding anniversary with my husband. We're going to complete a full year of marriage on the 16th of June. This, as you can see, like, this theme is super, super important and personal to me. I love adding these like personal details into my bullet journal themes, and these two are just amazing details. So for my monthly calendar, I actually did another vertical one. I really enjoy this type of structure for a monthly calendar. Don't ask me why, but I just feel like it works better to just have a small line for each day, because I usually don't have lots of events. So this is like the more compact version of a monthly calendar for me. So I just put all the days on one side and I did a border around it with red marker, and I highlighted the weekends with gray just to match the to-do list and goals section on the other page. And then because I didn't want this theme to be all pictures together, I also decided to draw a little mustard on the corner with a big spill that would go into my calendar of the month. Then I just added a bunch of burgers on the page and my dashboard for June was done. The next pages are going to be my habit tracker and my brain dump page, and I knew that I wanted to fit in the Thanksgiving song that Linda sings on the third season because this show is really heavy on Thanksgiving. We don't have Thanksgiving here in Portugal, but they celebrate Thanksgiving heavily on Bob's Burgers. And Linda sings a song about her Thanksgiving day, and it's such a catchy song and so popular within the Bob's Burger community that I had to put in here in this theme somewhere. So I decided to use half of my habit tracker page to include the lyrics for her song. Me and my husband sing this all the time because it's so catchy and so weird and funny at the same time that it's such a great song. I don't know how to explain it. If you watch the episode, you will know how catchy and crazy it is. And I did this on the half of the page because my habit tracker is really going to be just a line for each tracker along the bottom, just like I did for January, because that's the type of habit that I'm feeling right now. So I did the song at the top. I put a little picture of them going to the Thanksgiving dinner in Mr. Fisher's house, and I did the titles, and then I did the habit tracker at the bottom. And this month I'm going to track my water intake. I've been trying to do that, but I really want to have it visibly in my bullet journal, so I'm tracking that. I'm tracking my workouts. I love tracking my workouts. It's the most rewarding thing ever. So I'm tracking that in here. And in the workout tracker, I also add my walks that I do with my sisters. So this counts as like any type of workout, not only going to the gym. And then I have a tracker for journaling, and this journaling can be normal writing journaling, it can be morning pages, it can be junk journaling, because I need to do them more often. And I've been really into junk journaling now, but I can't forget to write my own thoughts into my journal. And then I have another tracker for drums because I'm back into drumming, and we are currently learning the song that Portugal played in Eurovision, which is from Napa. It's called Deslocado. And we are learning that and we've been vibing together and it's amazing. And then it's obviously marketing because I'm still studying marketing and social media, so I have to have a tracker here for that. And the bottom one is going to just be for meditation because I was really heavy on meditation at the beginning of May and then I kind of stopped doing it again. So I really need to get into the habit of doing it because it really helps me, but I sometimes don't have the time to do it and it really screws up my head. So I have a tracker for that here. So those are going to be my habits for June, and at the top I'm going to have a part for a brain dump page. And every now and then I use my brain dump notebook to put up my thoughts and everything, but I want to use a specific one for my bullet journal, so I'm going to have a little section here for that because I'm also going to move into another bullet journal in July, so I need to do a little brain dump of the pages and collections that I need for my new journal. So yeah, I created a brain dump here for that. And those are all my pages and Bob's Burgers references in my bullet journal for June. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and this theme took a long time to do because I had to hand draw all the titles, but it was really worth it. I missed having a very personalized theme in my bullet journal, and I'm so glad I did it for June. And yeah, if you ended up watching Bob's Burgers or if you like Bob's Burgers, leave a burger emoji in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys, don't forget to check out my workshop.